Hello. Today I watched the infamous Minecraft movie, and now I want to talk about it. It's a fantasy adventure film about a group of strangers being pulled into the mythical lands of Minecraft. With the help of a veteran adventurer, the group sets off to master this mysterious land and find a way home. The film was directed by Jared Hess and stars Jason Momoa, Jack Black, Emma Myers, Daniel Brooks, and Sebastian Hansen. This film starts off with a 20-minute infomercial about the world of Minecraft. Steve narrates to us how he found it, a little bit about how it works, and then sets up the movie's villain. The whole thing is done in a commercial style and reminded me of those World of Warcraft commercials from the 2000s. Lots of hyperbole about the game and how it works, and a half-hearted, overacted performance from a celebrity. From there, it spends a little bit of time in the real world introducing the cast. We meet each of them, spend a bit of time learning their paper-thin backstories, and then they all get dragged into the world of Minecraft through a trinket Momoa's character finds. We learn that Momoa's character is a big loser who provides comedic relief. Myers and Hansen are playing siblings with a tragic backstory, and Brooks is the kind realtor who helps the kids when they first arrive in town. After they get dragged into the Minecraft world, they're quickly united with Steve. Steve explains everything about how the world works, again, and teaches them some new tricks before convincing them to set off on a quest to find some random thing that will help them get home. Finally, they finish the film off with a short adventure that's filled with comedic moments, lots of references to the game, and very little actual content. The cast are mostly playing one-note characters. Hansen and Myers play the two leads, Henry and Natalie. They're orphans moving to town to start over. Hansen's Henry is an intelligent kid who doesn't fit in. Natalie, his older sister, is a young adult barely keeping it together while looking after him. Brooks plays a kind stranger who tries to help them, and Momoa plays a local weirdo who obsesses over his minor celebrity fame. Brooks and Momoa set out to play comedic relief. Brooks says a lot of funny lines, while Momoa gets beaten up and does a bunch of physical comedy with Black. Visually, the film is a lot of the cast running around on built-up sound stages with CGI creations plastered on after the fact. Through the CGI, they explore the world of Minecraft, both the overworld and the Nether. They show off a bunch of items and characters from the game, make little jokes out of them, and go on a trip that takes them through iconic locations. They supplement the CGI with a little bit of practical effect work and a few props made to match the game's style. For standout moments, they have a bunch of CGI battles. Among them are a few cool-looking animated shots of cartoon violence and a few visual gags. Sound-wise, the film uses a mixture of scored orchestrals, music from the game, and a few original pop songs. They use it to create atmosphere and support the emotional journey. Alright, so this film is basically Spy Kids 3D for the next generation. Its only real positives are the bromance between Momoa and Black and the music. Momoa and Black both play goofy one-note characters but get a lot of fun moments together. Their bromance starts off as a bitter rivalry, but quickly becomes the highlight of the film. They get to do some physical comedy where they get hurt like cartoon characters, a lot of manly handshaking, and they even put on a mini talent show for some zombies. In a sea of blandness, the two of them manage to create a little bit of joy and laughter. Aside from them, the other positive is the music. They have a good variety of songs and they use them effectively to support the story. The Minecraft music gets used just enough to give fans a nostalgia kick, and they souped up the songs so they're a little bit more complex. The original music comes every so often and is usually a pop song with a dance beat. They use it for hype moments where there's lots of action going on, and they do a good job of creating excitement. The scored instrumentals take up the rest of the time and follow the story beats precisely. They add in a bunch of emotion and do whatever they can to bring the scene together. The problem is, they're trying to hold back a flood of bad elements from the rest of the film. The writing and the visuals are awful, with the cast suffering from the bad writing. Which makes sense because this film was written by like 10 different writers, which is usually a pretty bad sign. Starting with the story. It's nonsense that literally uses video game logic to do anything. They teleport around with no rhyme or reason, going on a journey that means nothing. They introduce a bunch of different storylines but never develop them. The characters are never challenged. They spend most of their time doing bits, and there's a bunch of wasted time where the film cuts to side characters who have nothing to do with anything. The characters are super bland placeholders that don't grow or do anything interesting, and the writers fail to set up and execute any part of the story properly. It's not exciting, it's not original, and it doesn't have much value. It's like they're so focused on getting all the Minecraft nostalgia moments in that they forgot to write an actual story. So a bunch of random events happen and then the film just kind of ends. The cast try their best to play those bland characters but are hindered by the lack of screen time and the lack of nuance. They just spend their time making the same jokes over and over, and pretending to interact with the Minecraft world. There's lots of over-exaggerated reactions and a lot of weird moments where they don't mesh the CGI with the actor's performance well. Most of the cast get relegated to the background while only Momoa and Black are really given a chance to play. Momoa and Black do what they can, but even they are often hamstrung by the writing. Both of their characters are incredibly cheesy, and sometimes Black has to overact his parts to try and make them interesting. These moments are quite hit or miss. Sometimes they work, sometimes they're a dumpster fire that even Black can't save. Visually, the film is awkward to look at. Most of the time, the cast is standing there on a sound stage emoting to a camera, and the rest of the time, they're trying to make green screen action work. When they start walking through the built sets, things look decent, but the rest of the time they just look like crazy people yelling into the wind. The CGI work is well done and has lots of cool creative details to it, but it doesn't mesh well with the real world elements. It doesn't look like the two are interacting for real, and there's a lot of over-exaggerated movements from the actors to even try and make it work. It ends up looking quite goofy. There are a few moments where they manage to get things right and a few scenes that are great, but there isn't enough of them to justify watching the film. Personally, I was sure that Black Bag would take the cake as the worst movie this year, but a Minecraft movie might just top it. It's so bad that I wouldn't even let this film play in front of a newborn baby. They might absorb some of the writing and I'll end up with a little J.J. Abrams on my hands. The only positives come from the music and the couple of scenes that Black Momoa managed to make interesting. As for a rating, I'd give this film a 2 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye-bye!